What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made these. Beautiful, delicious, smoky, barky, spicy, juicy, amazing Sichuan peppercorn beef ribs on a charcoal grill. Coming up! Back in the day around 2017, I was helping open up Leroy Lewis barbecue food truck here in Austin, Texas, and one of our early menu items was a Sichuan peppercorn beef rib. And it was cooked pretty much like any traditional beef rib you're gonna find at a Texas barbecue restaurant, but instead of using all black pepper, we use Sichuan peppercorns, which just have an amazing flavor. And if you haven't had them before, they've got a really nice floral, kind of tingly, numbing flavor to them, and they're absolutely fantastic and pair very well with beef. And it just so happens that the other day was the last day the food truck was open, which is kind of bittersweet because I spent many years and many hours cooking on that food truck, but they're just shutting down the food truck so they can put all their focus on the new brick and mortar, which is way better than the food truck ever was because it has air conditioning and beer. But I stopped by the other day to say goodbye to the old blue food truck, and it just so happens they brought back the Sichuan peppercorn beef rib, and I took a couple clips of it and talked to Evan about how he makes it. So I'll roll that clip right now. Evan, tell me about this Sichuan beef rib.
So we made a Sichuan rub that we smoked the beef rib with. Then we use that Sichuan rub to make like a chili crunch with some beef tallow. So it's got like big pieces of fennel, Sichuan peppercorn, and garlic chips, and a bunch of good stuff in there.
Is the rub just like a salt and pepper, but with Sichuan peppercorns? Or?
Yeah, essentially. I mean, it's a lot more than that. It has cumin, it has Sichuan peppercorns, and cinnamon, and star anise, and all the good stuff in there. You get from like a Chinese 5-spice, plus the crunchiness from a Dalmatian rub, and all the whole seed stuff from the chili crunch, sesame seeds. Crunchy, delicious, incredible.
Kind of sad though, last day.
It makes sense. Sad, bittersweet.
Makes sense to bring back one of the OGs.
Yeah, I just didn't want to do mac and cheese stuffed quail.
Yeah.
Never a chance.
No, never again.
I did suggest it.
Unfortunately, they didn't make all that many of them, and the one I just filmed was the last one of the day, so I didn't get to try it that day. So I guess I'm gonna have to make it myself. So that's what we're gonna do today, and it is going to be delicious. These are some beef ribs. Pat them dry. And what I got here is a beautiful rack of USDA prime beef ribs. Picked these up at my local grocery store, and they're looking pretty good. Pretty small rack too, but I'm okay with that. Beef ribs can be pretty rich. And really, I'm not gonna do too much to these. It looks like this fat on top kind of wants to peel off, so I'll just take that off so it doesn't flake off during the cook. But other than that, I'm really not gonna do much to these. And I kind of go both ways with beef ribs, whether you wanna remove the fat cap or not. Because on one hand, fat is flavor, but on the other hand, you got plenty of marbling in these bad boys. But today I'm feeling pretty lazy, so I'm just gonna leave them as is. Get some of this loose stuff off of there. But of course you could remove it because there is some silver skin under the fat cap, which can tighten up and make your beef ribs really tall instead of wide, but I'm okay with tall ribs. And I'm in the mood for a pretty simple cook today. So before we throw these on the pit, we need to make ourselves a rub. Starting with some Sichuan peppercorns. And if you haven't seen them before, that's what they look like. Just a half-cracked peppercorn shell. Oh, they smell so good. Kind of like hops, honestly. And I probably should toast these off before I grind them up, like you would with most spices, but these are gonna be smoking for like probably 5-6 hours, and I think that's plenty of time to release the oils in the peppercorn. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grind these up. That's looking pretty good to me. Going for a pretty coarse grind on that, nothing too fine. I suppose I could sift this out and get the bigger parts if I wanted to, but I can't be bothered. Also going in with some cumin seeds. Oh yeah, beautiful. Again, nice and coarse. And some fennel seeds. Beautiful. Now, for our rub, even though I made this beef rib for a couple of years, I don't remember how we did it. So I'm just gonna kind of wing it here. Starting with 4 tablespoons of our ground up Sichuan peppercorns, followed by 2 tablespoons of some 16-mesh black pepper, 3 tablespoons of kosher salt, diamond crystal, 1 tablespoon of some Chinese 5-spice, and you know, I could have made that myself and ground up cloves and cinnamon and all that, but it's a summer grill series, folks, you know? Trying to keep things easy today. Then I'm gonna go in with a teaspoon of our fennel and a lumped teaspoon of our cumin, and for that little secret barbecue trick, some Chuds BBQ secret salt, teaspoon of that as well. And while I got it here, teaspoon of garlic. And get that all nice and mixed up. Looking good, smelling good, give that a little taste. Oh yeah, ooh, good saltiness, good amount of Sichuan in there. Very tasty, very savory too. I'm gonna go in with 1 more tablespoon of our Sichuan peppercorns for a little extra tingle, and it's also pretty salty. A little more black pepper too. Gotta get that bark. Oh yeah, that's good. It's like an explosion of flavor in my mouth. And now to get these rubbed down, I'm gonna start off by going on with a little bit of a slather today of some soy sauce. Not too much, just because there's not much purge in the bag. See, these are kind of dry. Get that rubbed down all over. Underside as well. Membrane always stays on with beef ribs. And you don't necessarily have to season the membrane side, but I do. Looks better. And sometimes I get gnawing down there, you know? Might as well have some seasoning on it. But just a nice healthy coating. Again, this rub is pretty light on salt. It's not like a 50-50 or something like that. So we can go on nice and heavy, which will help give us a really good bark. Top and bottom, and please, folks, don't forget the sides. A lot of meat needs a lot of seasoning. Beep, 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 beep. Beautiful. That is looking pretty much perfect to me. Let's go ahead and fire up the pit. Love the Chud shovel. And because there's so much room under here for collecting ash, you can just kind of sift whatever you're left with from your last cook. All the ash will fall through, and you get a nice clean pile of charcoal to start your fire with. And I'm gonna try something a little bit different today. Grab this piece of metal from the metal shop, AKA my garage. I'm just gonna kind of put that right there as a little heat baffle. Does this still close? Nice. One of these days I'll come out with a professional version of a heat baffle, but today we're just gonna test it out, see how it cooks. Bottom of the bag. Another convenient part about the system. Now all the dust is gonna fall through, which is great. So the reason I put this little baffle in here is so we can keep that coal in a nice straight line that doesn't spill over too much. So when the beef ribs are sitting over here, we got plenty of space between them, and the coals can stack a little taller rather than wider. And today we just got some lump charcoal in there. I'm gonna try a little snake method experiment. Never really tried this with lump before, but I'm just gonna light it on this end right here, and hopefully it'll burn nice and slowly all the way down and give us plenty of time without having to worry about adding more coal. And because I'm not really gonna be using this side of the grill, I'm just gonna go ahead and take this guy out of here. Don't need it. Might throw it on if I wanna grill something up though. And on the grill we go. Beautiful fit, happy about that. Nice and far away from the coals. I'm gonna shut this door. I'm gonna open the side vent on the side here for airflow. Shut this down, keep this side closed, this side open. This vent is closed, so we get some nice indirect airflow, and I'll let that heat up for a minute. And of course, gonna add some wood. This is some post oak, just cut it from my wood pile down to be a nice little chunk size, and we're gonna pop that right, and another one right over, and we'll probably add more if we see fit. But let's let this thing come up to temp. This video is brought to you by Helix Sleep. Helix makes premium mattresses and bedding customized to fit your needs, conveniently shipped right to your door. And the Helix lineup consists of 20 different mattresses, including the award-winning Luxe collection, as well as the ultra-premium Elite collection. They've also got the Helix Plus line for big and tall people, and they even have a line for kids. Everybody is different, and Helix knows this, so they created a sleep quiz to match you with the perfect mattress for you or you and your partner. Simply go to their website, fill out some basic information like how you like to sleep, whether you're back sleeper, side sleeper, height, weight, and things of that nature, and they'll match you with the perfect mattress for your needs. I took the quiz with Brooke, and we were matched with the Helix Sleep Dusk Luxe mattress, and I gotta tell you, it's an amazing mattress. I absolutely love it. We also opted to get the Glaciotex cooling cover, which helps keeps us cool because I tend to sleep pretty hot, especially in these hot summer months. And I've had my Helix mattress for like 3 years at this point, and I'm never going back to anything else. I genuinely love it. It's just as comfy now as the day I got it, showing zero signs of wear and tear, and is genuinely just incredibly comfortable. We even have a few down at the Chud shop for the apartments upstairs. Bones is sleeping on one now, and I've had a lot of friends and family come and stay the night at the Chud shop many a times, and every time they come up to me and tell me how much they love the mattresses up there because they're super comfy. But probably the most convenient part about Helix is that they're shipped right to your door in a very manageable sized box. Simply open the box, pop the plastic vac seal, and watch it inflate back to full size right before your eyes. And it most certainly is a lot easier than trying to strap a king size mattress to the roof of a sedan. And there's free shipping here in the US. Each mattress has a 10-year warranty, and flexible payment plans are available. So if you're in the market for the best bed of your life right now, Helix is offering you guys a big discount all month long of 27% off your mattress plus 2 free pillows, but act fast because the sale ends on Labor Day. Click the link in the description box of this video taking you to helixsleep.com. We're using promo code HelixPartner27. You can save 27% off your mattress plus 2 free pillows, or scan the QR code on screen right now. Thank you, Helix Sleep. So we're about 30 minutes into this cook. Temps have stabilized right about 250. Got some nice clean smoke coming out of there. And yeah, just cooking some beef ribs at this point. So we're gonna let this go for a while. And I'll keep you posted on how the cook goes, but I'm gonna start out around 250 like we're at to get nice and smoky, and then it'll probably naturally build itself up to around 300 degrees, and I don't really want to go any hotter than that. So if the temps climb up, I may shut down the vents a little bit and try and maintain around that 275, 300-ish area. I don't usually fire up a grill to cook barbecue these days because I've got a massive offset right there, or a Chud box, or a pellet grill over here, but gotta say, it's a pretty pleasant thing to do, especially from a fuel perspective. Not much charcoal, just a couple chunks of wood. We got some nice thin blue smoke coming out of there, holding right at 275 degrees and nice small footprint. But this thing has seemed to have stabilized out, cooking along. I'm not going to open it because I don't want to lose all that heat, but yeah, just going to let this rock for a couple hours, see how long that fuel lasts. Alrighty, it's been about 3.5 hours, and we're just starting to dip a little bit below 250, so I think it's time to add some coals. And I haven't looked at this thing yet, and whoa, looks like this beef rib had a big gash in it that I didn't see beforehand. That's not ideal, but all in all, color's looking really good. Coals are pretty depleted, but good to know with some lump you can get a good 3 hours or so. And I went to the store. I had complete trust in this thing, and it just kept on burning and holding its temp, so that's good. No spikes or anything like that. We got some good bone pullback too. Out of curiosity, let's see what we're reading. 170, not bad. Quick cook. Happy about that. So probably just another hour or two on these. Sift some of this ash out of here. Good color though, good amount of smoke on there. And I'm just gonna pile up some more charcoal. I'm not gonna do a whole nother snake or anything like that. I'm gonna just kind of run it like an offset where I just chuck in charcoal every, I don't know, probably 45 minutes or so, and make sure we're just maintaining some good temps. Give this a little oxygen, get these caught. Beautiful. Chuck another piece of wood in there, a little more smoke, and we'll check back in on these in probably a couple hours. We're about 5.5 hours into this cook, and these beef ribs are looking absolutely fantastic. Nice and barky, good bone pullback, probing pretty tender, right around 185, 190 degrees. So they're pretty much done. Probably another 30 minutes or so. And for the last little bit, while we bring it up to around 200 degrees and probing nice and tender, I'm gonna hit it with some soy sauce with a squirt bottle attached. Pretty nifty. Just for a little extra flavor, darken that bark up a little bit, and you know, it just seems like the right thing to do. So I'll probably do that maybe 2 or 3 times while this comes up to around 200, 205. All right, y'all, beef ribs are almost done, and not gonna lie to you guys, I've been pretty much neglecting this cook all day long because this grill has just been humming along and been very low maintenance, which is great. You know, I ran to the store, did some errands, cleaned out the garage, did a little yard work, made a beautiful pizza for another little test run for an upcoming video, and this grill just seems to not want to quit, which is great. I've added coals, I think 3 times total, and these are looking absolutely beautiful. Probing nice and tender, great looking bark, so now we're gonna pull them off and wrap them up. Boom. Ow, pinched myself. Beautiful bark on that, looking nice and crispy. A lot of good texture on that. Still kind of bummed out about this massive gash that somehow I missed, but that's fine. But nice and pillowy, look at that. Again, I think we're at like hour 7-ish right now, which is a little bit longer than it could have been. But again, if I paid more attention and rocked this pit a little closer to 300, this probably would have been more of like a 5-6 hour cook, because after the first 3 hours, I think we're already up in the 160s. But now we're gonna rest these down and we're gonna wrap them up with some chili oil. This is some chili oil I made myself with Sichuan peppercorns and a whole bunch of good spices, sesame seeds and oil and all that good stuff. Made this a couple weeks back in my chili crisp chicken episode, which I highly recommend checking out if you haven't yet. This stuff is absolutely amazing. And in that video, this thing was full, and it's been maybe 3-4 days since I made that video, and I've already gone through like half of it. So you can tell I really like it. And they do something similar to this at Leroy Lewis, so I figured it's a perfect thing to do. So we're just gonna go over the top with some of this chili crisp, but mostly just going for the oil and some of the crunchy bits, because this stuff is pretty spicy, and I don't want to burn my butt, because again, I've been eating this stuff all week. If I was going to make this specifically for this recipe, I probably would have made it with beef tallow. This is made with avocado oil, but I think it's going to work out just perfectly. Yeah, there we go. Sesame seeds on top, some nice crunch from scallions and garlic. Looking and smelling absolutely beautiful, and reinforcing that Sichuan peppercorn flavor. Love it. So now I'm just going to wrap these up. We're going to start out meat side down. I made that paper perfectly too short. That's fine, because all we're gonna do now is rest these down until they hit about 140, 150 internal. You know what? I'm just gonna rest it meat side down. Yeah. And at this point, you could pop this in your food warmer in your oven and do a nice long overnight low and slow rest, but you know, it's already been a long day of cooking and I don't want to dive on in. And the overnight heated rest is really not that necessary for beef ribs. So we're just gonna let this rest on the countertop for probably an hour, hour and a half. Let all those flavors soak in, let those sesame seeds and everything adhere to the meat until it comes down to eating and slicing temperature. So I'll be back in like a second. All right, it's finally time. Oh, it smells so good. Kind of spicy. Ooh, stuck to the paper a little bit. A lot of gelatin in there. And there we have it, folks. My take on the Sichuan peppercorn beef ribs from Leroy Lewis, looking nice and tender. Just so pillowy. I mean, come on, look at that. It smells fantastic. Let's carve them up. Crispy bark, but still nice and soft. Big reveal of the tiny rib. Oh yeah, look at that. So tender, so juicy, so barky. Love it. And then the center cut. I mean, come on, look at that. That's a beautiful beef rib if I ever did see one. And off of a charcoal grill too. Yes, please. I mean, what's not to like here, folks? It's a beautiful, smoky, tender beef rib, bathed in post-oak smoke, topped with some chili crisp Sichuan peppercorns and some amazing spices. And yeah, I'm ready to dive in and see how these came out. I mean, it's the king of barbecue for a reason. A beautiful, tender beef rib. Oh, almost lost it. That would have been bad. Nice and tender. Ready for it. Good Lord. Oh my God. Wow. A little spicy. That might be the most tender bite of barbecue I've had yet this year. That was ridiculously rich. A little bit of crisp on top though. A little spicy on the back end. Might have got a little chili oil down the wrong pipe, if you know what I mean. But the flavor is just out of this world. Super smoky, super tender, cooked to perfection. Oh, it's so savory. The flavor from the rub and the chili crisp on top is just out of this world. Like, I would take this over a traditional beef rib 9 times out of 10. It's unique, it's different, but it's completely welcome. It's not gimmicky different, you know what I mean? And it's like super savory, it's umami, it's floral, it's got a little kick to it, but I wouldn't call these spicy by any means. And then you got that extra crunch on top. It takes crispy bark to a whole new level. And we even paper wrap this for the rest, which is crazy how crispy that crust is. But wow, wow. Jiggle, jiggle. That is unbelievably tasty. So tender, so salty. I'm trying to bring that a little quieter so it doesn't peak the audio, but 10 out of 10, highly recommend, folks. I mean, just look at this meat. Smoke flavor is there too. I mean, obviously we got some really nice dark bark on there, but I know I talk a lot of crap about the whole smoldering wood chunk thing, but with the amount of flavor going on, if I was just smoking this with salt and pepper, I think there'd be more emphasis on the smoke flavor, but because this is such a flavor bomb of a bite, any nuance in smoking is not nearly as important, but good God, this is a must try, folks. It's perfect. I'm not even that hungry. I just ate a pizza, but I'm gonna keep going on this because it's so damn tasty. It's addicting. I haven't had a good beef rib in a while, but I mean, just like, look at that meat. It's like Wagyu steak. That is so good. That is rich. This is just a win in every direction, you know? It was a super easy, carefree cook. And then you take something that's classic like a beef rib that we all know and love, and it's adding a lot more flavor and more texture. And this is kind of like an all-inclusive bite. Like, there's no sauce I want to put on this because, I mean, it was wrapped in its own. And it's different, but not too far out of left field. Like, this is a home run, folks. You guys gotta try this. I mean, go back to any beef rib video and see if I ate this much of a beef rib before. And I probably should stop, because it's like 11 o'clock at night right now, and I don't need this sitting in me, but I kind of have to. It's so good. Damn, that is good. I just cut this baby one off the bone, and it's just like, look at that. That is just barbecue perfection right there. I mean, come on. Come on. Make a little burn end. Oops. I got you this nice little burn end. You're wearing the proper shirt.
I'm not in my best attire today.
I mean, it is the middle of the night.
Yeah, they're so juicy. Definitely tingly.
Look at that beast. Come on, Barky. Would you call this a good midnight snack?
I'd say this is a heavy midnight
Yeah. I need to stop.
I don't know if I could have more. Like, it was so delicious and rich, but I don't know if I can have any more. They're so rich, but they're good. I mean, the flavor is there.
All right, I'm actually not eating anymore. I might take a couple more bites off camera, like secretly. But before that, I think it's time for the official taste test. Oh. Yeah. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic, smoky Sichuan peppercorn beef ribs. I highly recommend giving this one a try. It really is the perfect example of something that's traditional, that you know and love, with a slightly new flavor profile that works incredibly well with beef. And if you've never experienced Sichuan peppercorns before, this is a really great way to go about doing it. And the flavor is just out of control, and I will definitely be doing this again very soon. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button, let YouTube know, dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.